Hi, I'm Tommy Lee, and today I'm going to teach you about the backhand huck. The backhand huck is important because it gives your team the power to score in one throw. A team that can huck will be able to score on out and in cuts, and a good hucking team will eventually see their opponents biting hard on their deep cuts, which will open up free unders. The backhand huck is more powerful than the forehand huck. It goes farther, has more spin, and you don't have to throw it from a power position. One of the most common mistakes that I see in backhand hucking is that some people tend to step forward with their pivot. If you step forward with your pivot, you're going to pivot right into your mark and you're not going to get a lot of space. What you should do is you should step sideways, or backwards when you're throwing your backhand huck. There's two reasons for this. The first reason is when I step sideways, I'm going to create space between me and my defender, and I'm going to have a more open huck. It's the same if I step backwards too. The second reason is that if I step flat or backwards, I can get more rotation in my body. Consider this situation. If I'm throwing that way and I place my back to my target, I can rotate a full 180 degrees and generate a lot of power in my torso and my hips. If I step forward, I can only arm it, and I'm not going to be able to throw distance with that, with just arm. So if I'm going to throw a backhand huck, I'm going to look at my target, I'm going to step out flat and start my windup. After you've stepped out flat, you want to use your entire body to generate power into your backhand huck. So now that I've stepped out flat, what I want to do is I want to almost turn my back to my target. So I'm going to turn my back to my target and look at where the disc is. The disc is exactly in the opposite direction of my target. This will allow me to turn 180 degrees. So now that I've wound up here, I'm going to start unloading from my feet to my hips to my torso, shoulders, elbow, wrist, and I'm going to release. So now that I have it back here, I'm going to first untwist my hips, and then the rest of my body follows into a full motion. And notice how I'm pulling, how I'm throwing it, and my angle is 180 degrees, a full range of motion. There are two small details I'd like to address. The first one is, when you're throwing, this 90-degree angle between your arm and your torso is key. If you have a 90-degree angle, that means you're holding out the disc far enough so that you don't get point blocked, and it serves for a great transfer of power from your torso to your arm. The second point I want to address is that when you're holding the backhand, when you're holding the disc for the backhand, you want to curl your wrist in all the way. And in that way, you can get a full range of motion in your wrist too. So not only are you fully unloading through your entire body, through your torso, and through your chest, but you're also getting a full range of motion through your wrist, at least 180 degrees. To summarize, I'm going to step out, I'm going to point my back at the target, I'm going to go through my full range of motion in my torso as well as my wrist, and I'm going to release it flat and maybe a little inside out. When I step sideways, I'm going to create space between me and my defender, and I'm going to have a more open huck. If I step flat or backwards, I can get more rotation in my body. When you're throwing, this 90-degree angle between your arm and your torso is key. So not only are you fully unloading through your entire body, through your torso, and through your chest, but you're also getting a full range of motion through your wrist. I'm going to go through my full range of motion in my torso as well as my wrist, and I'm going to release it flat and maybe a little inside out. When you're working on placement, make sure you put it out in front. The receiver needs to chase down the disc. The disc is not going to follow the receiver. When throwing a backhand huck, you know you're successful if you've placed the disc in front of your receiver. You're also successful if you place the disc on the opposite side of the defender.